topics that family members often want to discuss is that of trust. They can recognize that trust has been broken in their relationship or maybe in the family unit, and they want that trust to be rebuilt. One of the first things that we like to do is to explore with the client, how do they see that trust is built in relationships? Maybe looking at some of the healthy relationships that they have in their life. What contributes to that trust? Things like getting there on time and, if we make a commitment, fulfilling that commitment. And then we look at what contributes to distrust, whether that might be not keeping our words, taking things that don't belong to us, not showing up when we're supposed to. So using the staircase analogy can sometimes be helpful in explaining the family member's role in building trust and the person who broke the trust role in rebuilding trust. And so we want to invite family members to think about trust being built with actions, not with words. So for example, I might give some suggestions like our loved one might say, hey, I'm going to go to detox, or I'm going to go to AA, or I'm going to go to forecast, or I'm going to go to residential treatment. But we don't really build trust with words. We build trust with consistent action. And so I invite the family member to stay down here and to just observe, just to watch what happens a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. So if it's 4 or 5 weeks later and our family member has not taken any steps, then we're just waiting here, watching and observing, being mindful. Let's say 3 weeks down the road, our loved one has taken several steps and they're making some really good progress. We're again just watching and observing their actions. When we see that continued steps forward, it might take 6 months, it might take a year, it might take 18 months. Wherever the family member starts to feel like they've seen that consistent, reliable steps being taken in recovery, then the family member may decide to take a step into trust. So one family member client let me know that she had stopped giving any kind of financial support to her loved one because it was a very unhealthy relationship where more and more was demanded. She drove her loved one home one day, and when she got into the house, she realized that money had been taken from a little change purse, about $1.25. That family member was so disappointed that relationship trust was being broken over $1.25. And she was able to confront her loved one and explain that she was prepared to continue to work on the relationship, but she was coming back down here to see if that relationship could start to build trust. So as the substance user or the gambler is making steps in their recovery, their family member may decide to join them. What we don't want to see happen is a family member so desperate to rebuild trust, they're up here saying, come on, let's get up here. It's actually not the family member's responsibility to rebuild trust. They didn't break the trust in the first place. It's their loved one's responsibility to build that trust. We talk about how when that trust got broken, that family member tumbled down the staircase, and it was really injuring. It was injuring to their emotions and to their psychological health. And so we invite people to stay here and be cautious and slowly start to build trust bit by bit as their loved one's actions are making change. I remember a woman once in group saying, what if your loved one blew up the staircase? What if there's just nothing left to build? What a poignant reminder to some of the people in the group that sometimes that does happen, where there's just absolutely no trust left. And you just continue on in your life knowing that at this time, or perhaps never, that trust can be built. For other family members, they do have that deep desire to try to find a way to live with their loved one in some form of trust. And for them to make that decision, is it going to be a small percentage? Like maybe they can't come into their home, but they can meet them at Tim Hortons. Maybe there'll be some trust, like I will give you a ride somewhere as long as I know where I'm giving you a ride to is really healthy. building that trust bit by bit in small sections.